भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all, Thou art all, Thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Our friend, musician Peter is here today. After a long time I get to see him. So he will be presenting a well-known poem by Swami Vivekananda, To a Friend. You can join in singing. It is there on the screens.
Friend, let me speak my heart to thee. One truth I have found supreme. This dreadful world is tossed with waves. Only one boat bears across. Love, love, that is the only jewel. Friend, let me speak my heart to thee. One truth I have found supreme, the glaring mixture of heaven and hell. Say, where can a slave find escape? Love, love, that is the only jewel. Friend, I have found this truth supreme. One lesson I've learned in life, devotion, worship, yoga and vows. I've seen through them all. What have I known? Love, love, that is the only jewel. Friend, I have found this truth supreme. One lesson I've learned in life, science, philosophy, systems vary. These are but delusions of mine. Love, love, that is the only jewel. Friend, I have found this truth supreme. One lesson I've learned in life, the insects teach, embracing the flame, cast into the fire, the dross of self. Love, love, that is the only jewel. that she must care, that she must know. Love, love, that is the only Jew. Hail to the infinite thou art. Thy heart is the sea of love. There is a treasure deep in thy heart. Give it away, don't ask in return. Love, love, that is the only Jew. Heir to the infinite thou art. Thy heart is the sea of love, as high as Providence, mine it is half. Everywhere the same God. Love, love, that is the only Jew. Heir to the infinite thou art. Thy heart is a sea of love, loves all being without distinction. He is truth, worshiping God. Love, love, that is the only Jew. Love, love, that is the only Jew.
Thanks, Peter. Om Brahmametu Mam Madhumetu Mam Brahmameva Madhumetu Mam Brahmamedhaya Madhumedhaya Brahmameva Madhumedhaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the absolute, all-pervading reality, Brahman, be realized by us. May the bliss absolute be realized by us. May the Brahman, the bliss, the reality absolute, which is also the bliss absolute, be realized by us. May we realize the Brahman, existence absolute, by purification of our heart. May we realize the bliss absolute by purification of our heart. May we realize Brahman, the existence absolute, which is also the bliss absolute, by purification of our heart. Om, peace, peace, peace. The poem of Swami Vivekananda that we just heard actually holds a key to today's topic, that how to forget and forgive. The answer is invoke that love, here to the infinite thou art. Let us remember this, and thy heart is the sea of love. From the minutest atom to the gigantic things in the world, that one reality, the one self, is pervading all of them. And this actually is the solution. And the more we inch towards that, the closer we are to the ideal of forgiveness. It is a practical thing that needs, lot of efforts to put in the right manner. It is tough. We always know that understanding things and giving lectures is easy, but progressing even an inch in spiritual life is very difficult. And one point in that comes is the art of forgetting and forgiving. Just yesterday I received, day before yesterday I think, an email from one of our devotees who is quite well versed in psychology. And that devotee said, looking at her experience, that how can one forget? Forgiving one can make attempt at, but how can one forget? In the present context, if you take the literal meaning of the word forget, it is not really possible. And it is not desirable either. Forgetting happens that when the brain is not working right, when during the old age the person starts forgetting. That I was told that, hey, you sent this slide some days back and you forgot. Well, that is, now I am entitled for that, forgiveness for such forgetfulness. It is now, but that is never to be counted as virtue. That, oh, I forget easily. Can one claim it as virtue? I have good memory. You can say that that's a good thing. I have good memory. But I have a very immense forgetfulness. Can that be claimed as a good thing to possess? No. In this context, let me tell, it was a remark made in joke. My predecessor, the wonderful Swami Vivekananda, used to say that the secret of happy life in old age is good health and bad memory. So that makes you happy in your old age. So that is not what is meant in this context, what is the forgetfulness. It is not forgetting in that sense. It is not meant that forgetting an incident. Forgetting an incident is not possible. Even when we say, okay, I will forget it, what happens is that you just tag it, that I will not think about it. And in that also one does not become very successful because the memory of it keeps on coming with the tag now. Earlier it was coming just like that, oh, this happened. Now it comes with the tag, but I am not going to think about it. So it is, the whole thing now becomes an incident, and I keep on thinking about it, saying that I am not going to think about it. But with some that willpower, and you need a lot of willpower to push it back, push it aside, that okay, there are better things to think about, let me not think about it. That becomes possible. But the other part, what is meant here of forgetting, is forgetting the accusative aspect of the incident. The accusative aspect is actually not the incident. accusation is happening, that incident happened, that memory is there. Suppose someone cheats me. Now that incident has happened. Now I put an accusation attaching to it, that, oh, that person has cheated me and I need to actually give that back to him. Giving back or taking revenge, wreaking revenge. That idea comes automatically as when we accuse somebody. And then forgiving is not possible. Forgiving is, then only it shows weakness, that you are not able to give the retribution, and so you, okay, I forgive you, because you are not in a position to actually bring that fellow to what you think as justice, or can actually wreak revenge on that person. Although you have those feelings boiling in you, yet because of weakness, incapacity, you cannot do much about it. And so, to cover that weakness, we may say, well, I forgive you. It is, if suppose a very weak person, very difficult for that person even to walk or carry oneself, is slapped by somebody who is quite hefty, strong, powerful person. Now that weak fellow may have these feelings, certainly will have such feelings. I would give him a big blow. But sees, well, it is not possible to take up a fight against this fellow. It's too big for me. So says, okay, I forgive you. What does it mean? There is no really forgiving there. But it is just a strategic, diplomatic, that way out, running away. It is keeping some kind of solace that, oh, I have forgiven. Forgiving is a good virtue. But that is really not forgiving at all. There is the forgiving that is therefore very easy that people get it, is that even though you have the power to give a blow back, you hold it, you do not act on it. That you know that it is the other person's fault, that other person deserves being punished, but you hold it back and say, well, no, it is the forgiving is better, and it has been told by the scriptures. So if I have to act according to scriptures, let me forgive. I am forgiving. But the idea that that fellow has committed something against you holds in your mind, and that act of forgiving is really a very condescending attitude towards the other person. Oh, you did it, but I forgive you for this. You are forgiven. So this is a forgiving that happens in many cases, but then that brings up a kind of pride, that and condescending attitude towards others. Oh, I could have done so much worse. I could have punished that fellow, but I decided to forgive. So that is one kind of forgiveness which is a little better than going out and giving the blow, to practice some restraint. But one must remember that that does build a condescending attitude, a sense of pride for doing something that what the scriptures have endorsed. Actually, forgetting means here that not having the idea of accusing anybody. And that is the reason for that is that person was only an instrument. That person really did not hurt you. Your actions, your karma, you get back according to your karma. That is why that person might be like a mailman bringing you something. That person served as an instrument to give it to you, but you got it because you deserved it. Your karma was such that you were going to get it either from this person or the other person, but you were going to get it. This is the law of karma, and that is accepted in all different faiths. Like in Bible too, you read that you reap as you sow. What you sow, so you reap. So your own actions in this life or in the past life have come up to bear fruits, and somebody has just been an instrument in delivering you that, and so therefore that person is not to be accused for that. I was anyway going to get it. And thus the person does not feel any anger or reaction to that. Okay, that person, but it was my doing. I do not get anything that is not generated by my karma. And there is another poem that we sing sometimes here of Swami Vivekananda, no one but me to blame. That it is important, one stanza in that says that all that your past, you are the manifestation of your own past, and that is what you are. You will get all those things, whosoever may be the one who delivers them to you. So, this attitude is a great saving attitude. What happens is, thus you don't forget the particular event or particular action, but that separate the accusative part of that that otherwise you feel. And that accusation keeps on hurting us, binding us, and as it is said, keeps us tied to that suffering unnecessarily, although that incident is over. That fellow did this to me. When I think of that, I am doing that again and again to myself. That person might have given me a blow, might have said me something bad again once. But I keep on telling it to me again and again. That fellow did this to me. So what is actually happening? I am repeating that to myself again, wounding myself again. And then it generates the feeling of wreaking revenge, which really burns everything good in one's life. All the purpose of life is just centered on making that fellow pay for his or her sins. The whole life is centered on that. Well, what are you achieving by that? Does life have no nobler purpose than that? Just remember what we sang, that here to the infinite thou art. Thy heart is the sea of love. So this is what we should think of and try to realize. This purpose is lost. The whole life, when it is filled with revenge, is focused on something bad. That is, to eliminate this fellow or make that person suffer. That is, to make somebody suffer. If I make that as the purpose of my life, imagine how much in suffering I will be inflicting on myself, how much misuse of the time available in life I will be doing misuse of it. So it is therefore important that we learn to take out the accusation that comes to mind, that part. The event is event. You don't have to forget that this happened, but let there be no accusation to that person. If you see so many great people to learn from, their life exemplifies this. They are not forgetting the event, but they are not only not accusing that person, but also seeing that because of this action, that person may not come to any harm. In Sri Ramakrishna's life, there are some incidents of this type. One is a very glaring incident when one of the members of the staff at Dakshineshwar, where he was the priest, he thought that Sri Ramakrishna is having some kind of a hold on the owners, and he also wanted to have that so that he will be able to get lot of benefits, lot of treasures from the owners who were very rich. So he kept on asking, what trick did you do to make these owners, this Mathur Babu, his name was Mathur Babu, and his mother-in-law, Rani Rasmani, how you brought them under your spell, that they always do what you ask, or they are always around you. What did you do? Tell me your mantra, your secret. And then once Sri Ramakrishna didn't know any such thing. He didn't want to influence anybody. He has absolutely no need of collecting any things for one's own purpose. It was not at all his life. So he didn't know anything to influence anybody. So he sometimes said no. Once this man, he saw that his name was Haldar. So he saw that Sri Ramakrishna is kind of alone. Nobody was around. So he caught hold of Sri Ramakrishna and said, "Hey, better tell me now." And when Sri Ramakrishna at that time was in that state of divine intoxication, they say, half aware of the world, but mostly aware of the God. So he was not in that state where he could speak even to this person. So this person therefore naturally gets upset, angry, and kicks Sri Ramakrishna, saying bad things. Now, Sri Ramakrishna did not, of course, react to it, but remembered that this incident and thought that if this incident gets reported to the owners, then this fellow not only will lose his job but may lose his head. And so, therefore, he made himself take a vow that I will not reveal this incident to anyone. He revealed it only after this person was gone away, he was sent away for some other problem. So, now, not only that Sri Ramakrishna did not have any accusation, but wanted to protect this person from any harm. You see that in the life of Jesus, that he prayed for those who were crucifying him. And not that that incident or these people, he in fact predicted that that's going to happen, that you will be handing me over to the law and you will be denying me 3 times before the rooster crows. So it is, all these things he knew, and he did not accuse anyone. And thus there is no reason for forgiving, in the sense there is no accusation. How forgive means, well, I know that you have done something wrong, but I forgive you. That is the stage where we remember the incident and we feel that that person had bad intentions against us. But I should protect myself, and the way to protect is to forgive. Otherwise, I will be inflicting more wounds on me, and therefore forgive. That practice has to happen in all different religions. Therefore, this idea of forgiving has been emphasized because that is how your devotional mindset will be protected. It is in Bhagavad Gita, this word comes many times. Kshama, the Sanskrit word for forgiving is kshama. And then it is in the 16th chapter, it has been described as a divine wealth to have. It has been described, many divine wealths have been described there, like purity of thought and intent. Then it is having a contentment, and all those things are described. Not having the pride or ego and such things. In that, one is kshama, that forgiveness. And Shankaracharya has beautifully commented on this word. What is this forgiveness? He says, akrishtasya taritasya va vikriya anupatti. Anupapatti of vikriya. Vikriya means a reaction. That somebody did something to you. You are therefore akrishta or taditasya. It is somebody hit you, somebody did something wrong to you. You are wronged by somebody. But there is no vikriyanupatti. There is no reaction of that towards that person. So it is not that it is a reaction has come. If reaction comes, okay, subdue that reaction by this very reasonable, correct thought that it is, after all, I get according to my karma. No need, just as we do not blame the mailman if we get an unjustified big bill in the mail. The one, somebody who sent the bill, we take the matter with that person, not with the mailman. It is so that person who brought some, blows in my life, it is not that person's responsibility really. It is that person was just an agent like a mailman. So that frees us from this revengeful attitude, the attitude of blaming. And then it comes, with such intensity that our meditation, thinking of God, gets completely spoiled. It is, we keep on, instead of meditating on God, we keep on meditating on that person, grinding our teeth. It is, that person remains harmless, Who gets harmed? I get harmed by that. Again and again, in the same groove, the mind keeps on rotating. Meditation happens on that person, not on God. So, therefore, it is important that we process this thought. Although it has come to us, we are not at the spiritually elevated stage where the perception is, after all, it is the same self in everyone. Then there is no question of somebody hitting me. Absolutely not. I many times quote that beautiful example given by the very highly respected sister of a great saint in Maharashtra. The saint's name was Jnaneshwar, and his sister's name is Muktabai, youngest sister amongst all these four siblings. So, when Jnaneshwar was a bit, miffed, upset because of the horrible treatment that the people were meting out to these orphan brothers and sisters. So, he was very much angry and miffed. So, this sister tells him, there are many beautiful words of advice. One of them is, see your own teeth, bite your tongue at times. It is experience of everyone. Not that when we bite intentionally, when we utter something that we shouldn't have, so just then we, that is not what I mean. But inadvertently, it just get bit by our own teeth. Does one break the teeth because of that? It is just beyond thinking. You do not give a big blow to your teeth for doing this. It is a natural forgiveness. Although the teeth have committed this crime of biting the tongue. Yeah, it is. If you go and bite somebody else's tongue, that would be a different result, you see. But now what is there? Your tongue. Your teeth. The same eye in both of them. So the idea of accusation and retribution does not even come to the mind. But if we are not at that level, and most of us agree that may not be on that level where we see the same self in everyone, and thus the feeling of accusation will not arise at all. It will arise. Now what to do? It is told that if something is not your experience, but if you want to have that experience, then meditate on it. In the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is told that if you are not able to see God in everything, then meditate on that. It is so, think of it, that after all it is the same self in all. It is, a couple of days ago, one devotee accused me and then said, okay, although I accuse you of such and such and such things, I know you are also the child of same Holy Mother, Sarada Devi. Just as I am child of Holy Mother, you also are a child of Holy Mother. So, I do not hold any grudge on you. So that is how you process it. That okay, somebody might have done wrong to me, but let us see that we are all children of God. And that is true, we are convinced of that. We are all children of God. And so, let us see that God is in all of us. And thus, we are able to forgive that person more easily by bringing this feeling. And thus, we keep hurting ourselves more, and we then can proceed in our meditation, progress in our meditation. It is not that we are, by forgiving somebody, we are doing some, some favor to that person. No. It is you are doing favor to yourself. By forgiving, you are doing the favor to yourself so that you become free. Otherwise, you are tied. One can experience these things. You get tied by those thoughts of accusing somebody. So, therefore, it is important that we see that nobody is really responsible for my miseries. It is, as the Lord wills, so things happen. As the Lord wills. So this was how the Lord willed, and so it happened like that. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that story of one man who was seeing everything happening according to the will of Rama. He was a weaver and would weave clothes and then would bring it to the market to sell. So, and he would tell, the people that what is the price of this? He would say, look, the yarn costs so much. This other things like color and all that dyes, it costs so much. The labor is so much, and my profit is so much. So the price is all put together, added together is so much. So and everywhere he would add by Rama's will. By Rama's will, the yarn costs so much. By Rama's will, the labor is so much. By Rama's will, all these other materials, they cost so much. And by Rama's will, this is the profit I take. So, by Rama's will, thus the price is so much. As it happened once, some robbers, they were going that way. This man had just finished selling the clothing, and they wanted some strong person to carry the booty that they have stolen in the robbery. They found this fellow and said, hey, come on, take it. Else. So this fellow said, by Rama's wish, now I am carrying this load. By that time, as they were going, the police had got intimation and they came chasing this gang. And as they saw the police, the robbers ran away. This fellow got caught red-handed. I mean, all the stolen booty was with him. So he was arrested, and then next day was brought to the magistrate. And magistrate asked him, well, narrate what happened. And he said, well, by Rama's wish I had finished my business at the market, and then by Rama's wish these robbers came. They told me to, to carry this, and by Rama's wish at that very time the police came. By Rama's wish the robbers just got away, and by Rama's wish I was caught and brought to the prison, and by Rama's wish I am here this morning in your court. The magistrate consulted many people in the town. They said, no, we know this person very well. He is a very honest person. He is not going to be an assistant or an accomplice to the robbers. And then therefore the magistrate let him go. So as he went out, he says, by the wish of Rama, the magistrate let me off. I am free by the wish of Rama. So everything is happening by the wish of Rama. Then there is no accusation at all. There is no question of forgiving, because no offense against me has been committed. When there is the feeling that these people have committed some offense against me, then I have the choice to forgive them as a matter of freeing myself, or hold on that grudge and make me suffer more and more and more. So this is the idea in forgiving, that we actually save ourselves by being able to forgive. It is not that we are doing any favor to somebody else, that we forget the accusation. That is a practice that we must make, that let us stop accusing, that it is a tendency that when I see that somebody is responsible for my suffering, then the mind accuses that person. You fellow, I need to teach you a lesson. And then the forgiving is difficult to come by. It is, therefore, one has to see the event without accusing anyone for my sufferings. And then the second aspect is that it is practicing the forgiveness, practicing forgetting the accusative aspect of that incident. That incident happened, need not forget it. But the accusation was not part of it. You have added that from your mind, that this fellow did it to me. That was not really part of the incident. That is brought in, that coloring, that spin has been added by the mind. So, dissociate that, and thus you will be, if by forgetting that aspect, the forgiving becomes easier, in fact, more or less automatic. If we are not able to do it, then meditate on it. Think that after all, I get what I get by my karma. I remember one incident. There was, I used to be in Nagpur then, and many people would come in our library, and the most easy or popular way of commuting was bicycle. So this one man was going out of the gate after doing some reading, etc., in the library, and at the same time, another man who had a scooter, a motorized bike, was coming in, and they clashed. And this naturally the person on the smaller vehicle gets more hurt. The bicycle also was had some damage, and then we rushed this person in a room, saw if there are any wounds. Nothing much was there. Some this first aid was given, and then that person said, "Oh, that is not fault of that fellow. We were saying there that, oh, this person on the motorbike should have been more cautious, but this person said, no, it is not that fellow's fault at all." And we were looking at his face. He said, in today's newspaper, I read what was written in my horoscope. It was written that there is a great likelihood that you will have an accident. So that is the reason it was written in my horoscope. And now, how much to believe in horoscope or whatever, that's not the question here. The point is, that person thus was saved from the feeling of accusing somebody. You can blame your stars maybe, but nobody can really hold a grudge against the stars and thinking of punishing the stars. So, that is a way to process. So one has to find one's own, this proper way to process this idea of being hurt and holding somebody responsible for that. If we are not able to do that also, then the next thing is that, okay, everyone commits these things. When many years ago, one of our devotees here, he was talking about road rage, that you may get angry because some driver is not driving properly, and the anger could well up. At that time, it is advised, think that have you not done such thing ever in your life before? You have also committed many such mistakes, such follies. So why you are just blaming only that person? It is, yes, that person is in the wrong. But have you not been in the wrong before? And that is what Jesus may says, that forgive others so that you get forgiven by the God. Your trespasses are forgiven if you forgive the trespasses of others. So, that is again the same idea. It is for your own sake. You are forgiving the others. It is not a favor to others, but favor to ourselves. It is, I have this nice reading from this Christian site, crosswalk.com, and it is said here, let me quote from that. How do we go about this process of forgiveness? And a writer there, Cindy McMenamin, explains it like this. Are you still in chains to the person who has hurt you? Would you like to be free from the bitterness that is binding you and preventing you from moving forward in your life? Take some time right now to admit to God that you have been hurt. Go ahead and acknowledge to the Lord that the person who hurt you owes you for what they have done to you. Then confess any desires for revenge you may have felt and pray along these lines. Lord, I choose to forgive, and name that person. So, for whatever that person has done, I choose to forgive. This is a way where we who get this sense of accusing others, we who experience that the other is accuser because of our level of consciousness, our level of spiritual evolution, we see I and others. And remember, it is always the case when we have I and others. I am always good, the other is bad. I always deserve to be forgiven, the others no, they should not be. So here you therefore do the opposite, that I want to forgive that person. This is my sincere desire, so that I can progress in meditation with you. So, whether your offender is sorry or not, whether he or she ever expresses remorse or not, your decision to release that person of the offense and debt to you will release you from your prison of bitterness and enable you to move forward. So this is the process that we should try to adopt. That yes, pray to God. Praying to God, invoking God becomes a great help when our own thoughts are not enough. Our own understanding of the high philosophy of Vedanta, that the same self is in everyone, it is not really helping. Go and pray. Prayers have great strength. Pray that, well, I want to forgive. Please help me to forgive. And then the help comes. So this is also a great way that we can process our thought of revenge and be able to forgive others. So, thank you, friends. We will conclude, but let us meditate on these ideas for a minute or so. And then, if you have any questions, feel free to bring them up. Yes, any question?
There are two questions.
Yes.
First question from Charles. How do I stop accusing myself?
Good question, yes. It is, the idea is that if you accuse yourself too much, I mean, acknowledging that you made a mistake is one thing, but keep on accusing yourself, that creates a very negative reaction, that you keep on thinking bad about yourself. That is prevented by seeing that without making mistakes, nobody learns. Using the mistakes to learn is the way for that. It is a mistake, and nobody commits mistakes deliberately. It is not that one should say, oh, without mistakes nobody learns, so let me make more mistakes and I will learn. Then those are not mistakes, they are faults. So it is if you are doing it deliberately, it is actually a crime. So, mistake, when you commit a mistake, use it as a lesson to move forward, avoiding it. Every mistake that one commits comes with a package of knowledge. A mistake is a package that contains wisdom. So open it up. Otherwise, it is you have the resentments that self-accusing. It becomes a terrible habit then, debilitating one's inner life. Yeah. So that is how one should process it. Yeah.
Next question from Krishan Roy. Is forgiving others and forgiving oneself, that is to say, getting rid of one's own guilt for past actions related, can one lead to the other?
It's a good question. Yes, it is. You, as you release others, you release yourself also, because just as you have committed some follies, others also have committed those. So the same rule applies, but with the mistakes that you have committed, that you have to acknowledge what I did. That is under my control. I did means it was under my control. What the other person is doing, that was not under my control. So I lost control. So let me see that how to increase control, how to avoid such actions. That is how one should be responding to these things. That it is forgive yourself, but while forgiving, do not throw away the lessons from what I might have done. Yeah. Any question from here? Anybody? Okay.
Question from Abhijit. Pranam Maharaj, can forgiveness be seen as a part of renunciation?
Oh yes, can be seen as a part of renouncing the idea that somebody is bent on committing that crime against me. That idea is to be renounced, and then therefore forgiving that person is also a part of renunciation. It is actually renunciation in this sense as well, that we have to give up all the bad qualities, the bad ideas that surround us, and so therefore one of them is thus the idea of accusing somebody, the idea of revenge against somebody. So giving it up is a part of renunciation. Very correct. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. First, let me tell you about the programs in the coming week. Again, I don't have the flyer. Should be here? Okay, yeah. So, in this month, we will not have any more Sunday service. But next Sunday is the October 4th. And that is the October 4th and October 11th. That is the same topic. Actually, part 1, part 2. Mind. Super duper info storehouse. So, we will discuss that on October 4th. On October 3rd, there is a special program, and we had not been doing it for some months, but otherwise every first Saturday of month we used to have day-long meditation. This coming Saturday, therefore, we will have that. day-long meditation, Saturday, October 3. It is noon to 8 p.m. Entry open from 11:30 to noon. But one problem, one more thing is there. Due to COVID, people wanting to attend this are to bring their own lunch. Tea, coffee, snacks will be available. One can meditate as long as one wishes, but once she or he leaves the building, will not be able to come in till 6:45 p.m. when the door again opens for Arati. The Tuesday, Friday classes on this Vedanta topics will go on as usual at 7:30 p.m. The Tuesday topic is Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play and stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. All of these programs will have the attendance as per our capacity, and as everybody is expected to come, taking precautions of putting face mask as well as social distancing. And I suggest that please take a look at our weekly newsletter, which is put forth on every Wednesday. And if there is some new information, because of the problems now due to COVID, there are changes in the information that is given to you in the monthly announcement. So please follow what is given in the weekly newsletter. So now I conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. There will be Arati now, and then later on people can sit for meditation.